Okay, and welcome back, folks. It's time to get the second final underway. But before we get the players onto court, would you please welcome the ball crew? And now it's time for you to make some noise as we bring out our line judges and our chair umpire for this afternoon, Graham Jones. Okay, now it's time to really get those clappers going as we welcome the players onto court. First up is a player who has a 6-5 head-to-head winning record against Emma Raducanu. She's won 3 UK Pro League weeks in succession to qualify to be here this week. Would you please welcome Sonay Kartal?
Sonay Kartal blazed a trail in the Pro League, winning 3 weeks in a row earlier this season, and has shown that once she progresses in the Pro League, she's very tough to stop.
And now we welcome onto court a player who in the press this week described the Shrewsbury Club as our second home. This is her 4th final at the Shrewsbury Club, actually her 5th if we include her winning performance earlier this week in the club's Besbrock Pro-Am tournament. She saved 4 match points to get here, and she has a career high of 286. Would you please welcome Freya Christie?
Freya Christie has found form at exactly the right time in finals week. The Nottingham-based player hasn't dropped a set in either her quarter or semi-final matches. Could that momentum be the key in this final? And as you can hear, plenty of home support as well, a second home as she calls it, here at the Shrewsbury Club. I'm Mark Valdy, keeping you company for this one. Alongside me is Oscar Chamberlain. Oscar, we've seen one final today. Magnificent Matusevic, as you called him a short while ago. You expecting this to be a closer affair?
Yes, I think so. It's going to be a different sort of match. They're not obviously very different type of players. Henry Pattenham and Anton Matusevic, both very big servers, so a lot of short points. I think there'll be a little more to the rallies. It'll be a little more craft, a little more invention. It'll be interesting. And Freya's had a great week. I think has gone a little bit under the radar. Probably came into the event not as one of the clear favourites, I don't think. Pretty solid performer in the UK Pro League, as I'm sure we'll go into a little bit, and does enjoy playing here, as we've heard as well. Kartal has done brilliantly in this competition, and she's beaten 2 of the wild cards already this week, so she's going to be difficult to stop. Her consistency's so good. It should be a great match.
Absolutely. And it's photo opportunity time as well before we get underway, and part and parcel of being in the final. Both players have played ever so well to get here. Now they are on the biggest stage of the lot. Our umpire, as you heard, Graham Jones, just going through the pre-match proceedings. And I imagine the nerves, the butterflies will be going here. Big moment this for both players. It's a big event to have on the CV. You may have just heard there as well that it was Freya Christie who has won the toss and has chosen to receive. So then our 2 players, let's start with Sonay Kartal, 20 years of age. Came into finals weekend in 3rd place overall with 64 points over 4 weeks of competition. Finished 4th in week 3, having to retire against Emily Appleton in the semi-finals. Then went on an incredible run, winning 3 weeks in a row, beating Emily Appleton in the week 5 final, Katie Stresnakova in week 6, and Emma Wilson in the final of week 7. As for performances here in Shrewsbury, well, she started strongly in Pool C, beating Liz Maloney in straight sets, 6-1, 7-6, but then came unstuck against Katie Stresnakova, 6-1, 7-5. She did, though, finish 2nd in Pool C, progressed to the knockout stages. And what a couple of matches Kartal had in those knockout stage. In the quarterfinals, she needed a match tie-break to see off Miyazaki, I beg your pardon, 6-1, 6-7, 10-4. And a semi-final yesterday was a classic, wasn't it, Oscar?
Yeah, incredible win over Beth Gray. Beth played really well throughout that match, as she did today, actually, in the third place playoff. She's been outstanding all week. 10-8 in the match tiebreak. And it was really close. It could have gone either way. You just always felt that Kartal will get the job done. I don't know if it's just this competition or just the way she's playing in general at the moment. She is mentally probably the toughest player at the UK Pro League. She talks about the mentality, and she actually sees that as an advantage in her game. She just doesn't really get nervous. She doesn't worry too much. She moves on from defeats pretty well. She's had a few struggles in the last couple of years. The injuries have held her back a little bit. That's maybe why we haven't seen her make that jump to the higher level, the ITF circuit or the tour level. And she won her first ITF tournament in Turkey last month, got to the final of another. She's only played 6 ITF tournaments in her life. Wow. She's already won one, and she's just broken into the top 1,000. She's going to go much, much, much higher. Yeah, absolutely. And as you say, you just felt, didn't you, in the semi-final she'd get over the line. It was, though, a bit of a struggle. Freya Christie, her opponent, 24 years of age, from Nottingham. Excellent start in the Pro League, finishing third in her opening week at Loughborough. And third again in week 3, also in Loughborough. On that occasion, beating Kimberley and Puxa. Other notable performances for Christie include a 5th place finish at Bath in week 7, where she beat Katie Stresnakova. Finished 5th overall with an impressive 54 points. Here in Shrewsbury, found herself in Pool A alongside Emma Wilson and the wildcard Lily Miyazaki. She beat Emma Wilson 3-6, 6-1, 11-9, but lost to Miyazaki in another marathon match. It was also decided 11-9 in the match tiebreak. Contrast to Kartal, Christie's quarterfinals and semi-finals were relatively straightforward affairs. Saw off Katie Stresnakova 16-6-4 and then put in another excellent performance against Eden Silva, also beating her 6-2, 6-4. Yeah, remarkable consistency from Freya over the course of the season. One of the more regular participants in UK Pro League. All her finishes have been between 3rd and 6th, so she's there or thereabouts all the time. Hasn't made a final all year, so maybe that is a little bit of a surprise to see her in the final here. But as we've heard, she loves playing here. One of her 5 ITF singles finals has been played here in Shrewsbury back in 2015 against Ocean Dodan. She's won 13 ITF doubles titles, one of them here in 2017, also a runner-up here in 2019, and she even won the Pro-Am title here a couple of nights ago, so they all count, I'm sure. But and she has a good experience. Her career high ranking much higher than Kartal's. She's a few years older. She's been on the main tour. She's got a lot of experience to draw on, which might be an advantage. And the fact that she came into this tournament a little bit under the radar, and obviously a lot of attention would have been on Kartal having won 3 titles, Emily Appleton as well, she won 3 titles, and the wildcards as well, because they're the higher ranked of the players. Miyazaki, 215 in the world, Beth Gray, who we've seen has been excellent, and Eden Silva as well. So it was always going to be difficult for Christie, but as we've seen, 2 really tight matches in the group phase, as you mentioned, Mark, that seemed to set her on her way. Just coming through those difficult moments, then she played her best tennis when it got to knockout, when it really mattered. Against Stresnakova, brilliant performance. Dropped just 6 games, same again in the semi-final against a very good Eden Silva. She'll be feeling confident and comfortable at home as well. That makes a big difference, as we've said. And I'm really looking forward to this final. It should be really great. It really should, and I think that's a very good point you make, actually, that Christie in the quarterfinals and semi-finals has just settled. Had the quicker matches. Do you think that's going to play a part, that Kartal had the big, tough, longer matches? Could fatigue become a part here, you think? Or do you think that it's just a one-off match and adrenaline will play its part in the occasion? I don't think fatigue will have too much of an impact on Sonay Kartal. I mean, I think, if anything, those matches might have been tough mentally. For certain players, I don't think for her it's going to be an issue. And I don't think it is going to make too much difference. I think Freya Christie will be feeling very confident because of the nature of her wins and the level of her performance. She seems to have been getting better and better through the week. But also Kartal, she raised her game when it really mattered in the tight moment. She's come through tough matches already. She's ready for this. Yeah, as are we. Should be a cracker. Freya Christie against Sonay Kartal. And it is Kartal who will get this women's final off and underway.
And we talk about the stats, and you try and get an insight and an edge as to who may win, but of course, what you can't factor in is the occasion, is the crowd, it's how you handle these first couple of games. And a good example of that was our last match, wasn't it? Matusovic against Patton. Patton looked a little sluggish out the blocks. Matusovic got off to a flyer and took charge of set one.
Good start here from Freya Christie. You'd expect Kartal to be pretty solid from the back of the court. She's pretty comfortable back there. Take her a little while to settle.
Couldn't find the forehand though on that occasion. The crowd can also play their part here for Freya Christie. Super race first of the match. Right on the line, right down the tee. Good hole in the end. A little tricky midway through that game. Kartal, confident forehand to take the game and lead by a game to love.
Yeah, solid start from Sonay Kartal. They have met a couple of times before, these two, of course, and a meeting in Loughborough was pretty one-sided. Kartal dropping just 4 games, but I remember the quarter-final in Bath really well. I was there, I was watching, and it was very, very close, 11-9 in the match tie-break.
Yeah.
Freya Christie had chances, and it's just in those key moments that Kartal was able to come out on top, and that's just
Seats quickly, please.
a feature of her game. It happens so often, it's not a coincidence. When it gets tight, she finds a way. She's been doing it throughout the UK Pro League.
Waiting. Freya Christie to
I don't think it's a massive surprise to anybody to see Kartal here in the final.
Tried to employ the lob there. Difficult though, coming at it at such pace for Kartal.
15 love.
Easily swatted away by Christie at the net.
Net for service.
First double of the match goes Christie's way. A lovely angle on that backhand from Kartal. Edges ahead.
15-30.
So comfortable in those kind of baseline exchanges. She's so consistent. Great mentality and incredible consistency. Those are pretty solid foundations to build your game around.
Oh, gave Kartal another bite of the cherry there, Christie, and Kartal made that difficult.
15-40.
Well, this first service game, so important. And Christie under pressure here, a couple of break points to see off. Yeah, well left. Thought about finishing things off at the net, but knew that was drifting wide, and
30-40.
first break point safely fended away. But still, Kartal has another chance.
Thank you. Ball go. Ball boy. Thank you.
That's drifted wide.
Kartal.
Just so solid, isn't she, Oscar?
Yeah,
Kartal.
it's exactly what we expect from
Kartal
Sonay
leads
Kartal.
2 games to love.
Nothing seems to phase her at all. If you didn't have a scoreboard, you would not know which way the match is going by looking at it. Never gives anything away.
That's
Yeah, very focused
15
on the job in hand. And the job in hand is going very well. The perfect start.
Really interesting that we've got two 20-year-olds in the finals, one in the men's, one in the women's, and you can see a lot of similarities despite their obvious differences.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually. Very good point. They are similar, aren't they? Especially in their mentality, their self-belief, and solid all round, and don't give a lot away. And Christie is going to have to work hard here. Oh, had a chance there, though.
14.
That was a good chance. Would have just given Christie a lift if she'd made that down the line. It's been a very solid start for Sonay. It really has. Early problems for Freya Christie to ponder as she heads back to her chair. Kartal leading by 3 games to love.
Time.
Well, this is huge for Freya Christie, this service game. Enough on that lob to trouble
Love 50.
Christie. And it's a big game because not only the first game on the board of the match, but just to feel like she's in the match. Always in trouble there.
This really has been a very impressive start from Sonay Kartal. You've got to remember that this is a fairly big tournament still. Yes, she's got that ITF win already a few weeks ago, but in front of a crowd here, which obviously hasn't been the case in the UK Pro League up until this week.
So solid.
Yeah, it's that consistency again. She'll do that all day.
Yeah.
Sit at the back of the court. And that's why we've seen Freya Christie, I think, try and be a bit aggressive, try and make something happen, but it's easier said than done.
Fine line as well. More trouble on the horizon here for Christie. 3 more break points. 4-love deficit looms large. And she's not taking her foot off the gas at all, as expected. Really pressurised the Christie serve. Right at the feet of Freya Christie. Got on top in that point. Look at that scoreline. On top in this opening set. 4 games to love she leads.
Yeah, absolutely ruthless. No sign of nerves. I think those last 2 wins in particular will have given her plenty of confidence as well.
15 left.
She has said this week that target for the next year is to try and break into the top 500 in the world in terms of WTA ranking. It is only a couple of matches, but her last two opponents have been ranked inside the world's top 500, and she's beaten them both.
Well, Christie is having to work so hard just to win a point. She played 2 or 3 shots in that rally that would have won the point against other players, but eventually had to really come to the net and take charge.
Yeah, it has to be good this good at the moment from Christie.
Yeah.
30-15.
You spoke about Kartal's mental toughness. It feels like this occasion she's rising to it, not wilting under it. Big final, big crowd, relishing it.
Game, Kartal.
Christie, on the other hand, well, probably feels right now she'd rather be anywhere else but here. 5-love she trails in this first set. Kartal in cruise control.
Time.
Still then, the wait goes on for Freya Christie to get a game on the board. Love 5 in this first set.
Net for service. Net first service. Net. Net first serve.
She didn't realise.
No, we had that in the first match, didn't we? When you love 5 down, you don't need this. You need the first serve to go in.
I heard it.
Yeah, I'm afraid we did as well, Freya. Time to refocus. Goodness me. Well, another thing that you can add to the many assets that
Love 15.
Sonay Kartal has is pace. Absolutely raced up the court. And then the presence of mind to play the forehand pass that Christie unable to make anything of. It was just too good.
Love 30.
Well, this first set looks, for all intents and purposes, like it's getting away from Christie, but she could really do with something to take into set 2. Ideally a game, but at least something to give her hope. Oh, she'll be relieved. She'll be relieved at that. That was straight down the forehand.
15.
Kartal looped high over her head, and thankfully, from Christie's point of view, past the baseline. Oh, would have expected to make that. Christie did well to hang in that point, actually. And Kartal came racing into the net here. You feared the worst. The volley and a shake of the head.
It's about as much of a reaction as you'll get from Kartal. That's,
Yep.
You can tell she's not happy with that.
Yep.
She set such high standards.
Poker face back on.
Net for service.
But at 30 all, love 5. That's how one-sided this set has been. This is seen as a chance for Christie to get that game on the board. It's been blown away. Now then, this is a chance. And one suspects that if Freya Christie does hold here, the noise level here at the Shrewsbury Arena will go up a notch or two.
It's a bit like playing against the brick wall for Freya Christie at times.
Juice.
There's just no getting back into these baseline rallies. She's got to try and come up with something different. It's very, very difficult. Kartal in her element.
Well, just 29% on first serve, Christie, at the moment. Kartal up at 92.
And it's been a tough opening set for Freya Christie, as the scoreline suggests. But with this format, it's not always a disaster. You can reset, you can start again, and because it's a match tiebreaker, not a third set, it feels like you've always got a good chance of turning things around.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Advantage, Christie.
And the key to that, and let's not write Christie off just yet. We have seen 5 loves turned over, but probably more unlikely than likely. But the key to Christie will be that start in set 2. Make a match of it, and you never know what a match tie break can bring. But that is a long way off at the moment. Desperately wants this game on the board. Feels like she's in this final. Get the crowd behind her as well. Didn't need that. Double fault number 2. action says it all.
Advantage, Kartal.
A lot of these unforced errors are just coming from Christie feeling she has to really go for it and take the chances, because Kartal just isn't giving her anything to work with at the moment.
Absolutely. One-way traffic in set one. Where Christie put up more of a fight at the end, and that maybe is something that she can take into set two. Set one. Warm round of applause for Freya Christie. She comes back on court and she's going to need every bit of help she can get here. Fair to say, Oscar, that this first service game is huge.
It certainly is. I think
Second set.
Christie will want to put a bit of pressure on Kartal.
Absolutely,
But
try and take the little momentum we had at the back end of set one into the start of set two.
And actually, even though she would have wanted that game at the end of the first set, Freya Christie, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world that she's not serving first now, just because of the way this match has gone. You know, the pressure would really have been on her if she'd come out and had to serve first in the second set after what's just happened.
Yeah, it's a good point, actually.
And you do sometimes see players after winning a set just have a little bit of a dip.
Well, we saw that, didn't we? In the last match, Matusovic went 2-love down after a dominant first set. Had to sort of click back into gear.
And the bounce back was pretty quick. Be surprised if Kartal did the same.
30-50.
Mild amusement. Ball finds itself clattering down. Thankfully didn't hit anybody on the head.
That's
Just
40-50.
shots like that, gifting them.
But it's a consistency from Kartal that's forcing
That's
this.
forcing you. Yeah,
She
yeah.
doesn't miss.
No.
Forty 30. Game, Kartal.
So, as expected, first game in this second set held by Kartal.
First game, second set.
First game was big. This one, monumental for Freya Christie. Kartal will be looking to repeat the feat of set one here. A set that was just dominated. Goodness me.
Yeah, those numbers are incredible, really. Again,
Goodness
first
me.
serve points won, the percentage 91%. Pretty similar to Matusovic in the men's final,
Yeah.
as we said.
Yeah.
It was kind of similar. It's just under half an hour, I think, for that first set. So again, like in the previous final, very quick first set. Obviously, 6 games to love, you would expect that. There was a little bit of fight back from Christie late on, but you just have to admire the consistency of Sonay Kartal.
You do, you do. Well, you said that Christie had to try and mix things up and trying to come into the net there and force
50.
Kartal's hand. The trouble is, she plays that. Oh, right at her feet, good length.
That depth is so impressive.
Love 30.
You know, this is not an easy forehand. Almost looked like she was a little late getting to it, but still just producing every single time. We haven't seen an unforced error count for this match, but I imagine from Kartal's point of view it is very low indeed.
It would just mean so much, though, if Christie could
15,
somehow
30.
find a way through this. Maybe plant a seed, albeit a very, very small one. But even now, 15-30, really under pressure. And coming into the net. Maybe that is now the way to go.
30 all.
Certainly getting involved in a baseline battle with Kartal is a pretty fruitless exercise. Here we are again.
30-40.
Oh, super play. Point of the match. And it goes Christie's way. That was a lovely touch. Court opened up nicely, not even Kartal can get to that one.
Such a big point as well.
Loose return. Well, she's been here before, not very often, sadly for Freya Christie. Had a game point at love 5, couldn't take it in the first set. Really, really needs this one. Relief. Relief for Freya Christie. Relief for everyone here at the Shrewsbury Club. She's on the board. 1 game all.
An important hold. Start of the second set. Would have felt like a long way back, even with just a couple of games gone in this second set. It's so important just to get that first game. It does keep this match open. It looks so one-sided, and it has been to some extent, but first set doesn't really mean anything anymore.
My word. Well, that looked like a winner for Christie. But how did Kartal dig this out?
15 love.
Just so good.
You're absolutely right. Means nothing. The beauty of our game. That first set means nothing now. 1 game all, whole new set, new opportunity. But still the same. Sonay Kartal at the other end of the court, playing some astonishing tennis. But Christie is on the board. And we saw this with Matusovic at the start of set 2, a little dip. Maybe, just maybe. Oh, that is sensational down the line.
Yeah, Christie really upping her game at the moment, which is really good to see.
15-30.
Tough time in that first set. We're just starting to see a few winners flow. Can she build on this now? That's the question.
Oh, no.
That's consistency, but it's also creativity from Kartal. Just has such a variety in her game, could produce
30 all.
a range of shots to stay in the rally when it's getting tough. How many times in that rally did it feel like Christie was on top there? Kartal just has the answers every single time. She's such a great problem solver.
Yeah, big point as well, that. That could have easily been 15-40, but found a way out.
(40-30).
Very quickly, 15-30 is now 40-30. And as small as those points may seem, they are big moments that can stop a match swinging away from Kartal.
Game.
But definitely an improvement from Freya Christie.
New balls, please.
Something to maybe build on.
Kartal leads.
Kartal
2 games to
does
1.
have the lead early on. 2 games to 1.
Time.
Well, much closer. The start of set 2. But still, plenty of pressure on the Christie serve.
Love 50.
Well, it's those cheap points that she'll want to avoid giving away. Has been better in this second set, as you say, Mark. It's just important that she tries to find that consistent level on serve and then just hope that there's an opening at some stage in this second set.
That's
Yeah, absolutely.
15 all.
It is vital that she keeps her shop in order here, Christie. Makes it as hard as possible for Kartal. Oh, difficult. The ball was behind her. But a chance that
15-30.
she needs to make. Again, coming in, trying to dictate. That definitely doesn't help.
That's just pressure. It's pressure at the moment, pressure at the scoreboard.
Two chances then for Kartal to extend the lead. Oh, and she's found it on the forehand. That is wonderful. That is Sonay Kartal all over.
Just brilliant.
Kartal leads 3-2.
Again, not a flicker of emotion. I think I described her as unflappable yesterday. And she is just business as usual. So calm. She's won 9 of the first 10 games. You just would not know it.
She was 15-30 down, don't forget as well, at 1-all. How big do those chances seem now that Christie couldn't take?
15.
And there is still a long way to go, and you never know with tennis, it's never over until it's over, but it's hard to see Kartal slipping up from this position, no matter how well Christie plays from this point on. You just don't expect her to drop a level.
That's 13.
I'm sure there'll be moments where she feels the nerves a little bit, but it may well be too late by then.
Those
for
nerves.
Christie.
Yeah, those nerves will feel fairly light if she's 5-1 up. The key really for Christie is his next service game. Got to try and keep on the coattails of Kartal and hope that the nerves come in. Well, that's what she's got to do. A lot of work for a point.
40-50.
It must be so disheartening to have that ball just keep coming back over and over and over again, but great patience here from Christie.
Clever.
Kartal.
Presence of mind, knew exactly what was going on around her. Lovely touch at the net.
Kartal leads.
And a lovely position
4-1.
for Sonay Kartal to be in right now. Set to the good and a break of 4-1.
Time.
It is just a single break, a serve that Freya Christie finds herself down at the moment in this set, but it just feels a lot more. Very similar to the point early on in this second set that Christie came in, Kartal employed the lob, and it was sufficiently good put Christie on the stretch and force the error.
Love 30.
Just can't find the answers. Neither can I. I can't work out what Christie needs to do. It's just too good.
Love 40.
And as you say, Oscar, it's the pressure, isn't it?
Just an accumulation of what we've seen over the last 52 minutes. It's so tough for Freya Christie. You just have to admire the brilliance of Sonay Kartal.
That's nice, though. Played the forehand well, actually, today. Christie at times when Sonay has allowed her to.
15-40.
Sadly, though, for Christie, just glimpses. 2 more break points for Kartal to look at here. Get that 5-1 lead and serve for the title.
$30-40.
Well played.
Yeah, showing that determination
Cheers.
just to fight her way back into this game. Real guts from Freya Christie. Could easily have folded by now. Love 40 down.
Can she make it 4 in a row here? Get herself a game point.
And she could hold here. It just still keep the door open. It would only be 1 break of serve still, and holding from Love 40 down as well. Just give her a little bit of belief.
Advantage, Kartal.
We walked into that one.
That's the commentator's curse, I'm afraid.
It is, isn't it?
Sorry, Freya.
I can understand the frustration. To do all that hard work and then to gift your opponent another chance. But important here for Christie, just to regroup.
And she knew as well that the ball toss was wrong. She should have just stopped herself.
Oh, well played. Digging in.
I would expect nothing less. Consistent performer in the UK Pro League this year. A little surprising that she hasn't made a final, actually. Finished third a couple of times. It's come close. We saw some brilliant tennis from her, particularly in the knockout stages here this week. Quarter and semi-final performances outstanding.
Oh, she had chances. There were chances there to put Kartal to bed in that point. There, allowed her back in, and as soon as the volley from Christie went long, Christie knew the writing was on the wall. Another chance then. 5th break point in this game for Kartal.
That's game. Cut.
And Kartal breaks again. And has she now broken the resolve of Freya Christie?
Kartal leads 5 games to 1.
She's nearly there. Christie knows that could be that.
Now that certainly felt like her last chance to make the second set competitive. It's tough. The scoreline is harsh on Freya Christie. It is just highlighting how brilliant Kartal has played.
Well, that'll help. And even at 5-1 up and such dominance, Kartal still gives the umpire the glare.
Very rare for Kartal to complain about a call, by the way, and that's as much complaining as she'll ever do.
Yes.
Just a look of slight confusion.
Love 30.
A couple of marginal ones in this game. Little opening perhaps for Christie. A long way back.
At 15-30.
There's a good chance on the second serve to really put the pressure on. And that kind of sums it up for Freya Christie, I'm afraid. Still, 15-30 on the Kartal serve. Does still offer an opportunity for Christie. And the door, that was only slightly ajar. It's just widened a bit more.
15-40.
2 break points then.
Getting over the line, always the trickiest bit. She's got a big lead.
Fault.
And also safe in the knowledge that she's broken Christie on a number of occasions. 5 times in the match.
At 30-40.
Again, one of those points from Christie. Didn't really make Kartal work for that. Ugh,
Too good.
too good. Absolutely. And Christie, unfortunately, knew straight away at this point she was in no man's land. Kartal was able just to pick her off. And as the forehand of Christie drifts long, we edge past the 1 hour mark.
Advantage.
Sonay Kartal has championship point.
Game, set a match, Kartal.
And Sonay shines in Shrewsbury.
6-1.
What a performance that was. Utterly ruthless from start to finish. What a player. Well, we expected great things from Sonay Kartal. Goodness me, Oscar, did we see them there? That was quite the victory.
It was. It really was an incredible performance. Tough on Freya Christie. I don't think she played as badly as that scoreboard suggests. It's very harsh, but Sonay Kartal, lost for words, really. Seen her play quite a bit over the last few weeks. Saw her in Chelsea win the title there and in Bath. Just dominant in this competition. The numbers are really impressive, but the numbers are just part of it, really. She has a winner's mentality, and she just goes from strength to strength. I can't wait to see where she goes next. That first ITF title last month was big for her, and the UK Pro League has been outstanding as well. It's really helped her progress as a player. I mean, she is going places, much like the winner on the men's side, Anton Matusovic. The future is really bright for Sonay Kartal, and a really, really worthy champion.
Absolutely, well said. A real statement victory, 6-love, 6-1. And with the greatest respect to Freya Christie, fully justified. So, the presentation now.
Here to make the presentation, the director of UK Pro League, Dom Hayes. And before we get the players on, I just want to call forward our chair umpire for this afternoon, Graham Jones. Graham, just come and stand with Dom. Graham's from Shropshire. For the last 32 years, he's been officiating around the world. He's done 60 Grand Slams. He's done 4 World Tour finals. He's done 12 Wimbledon finals, and he's been at Wimbledon officiating for the last 30 years. And he's also done 5 years here. But this match was his final match. He is retiring at the end of a long, illustrious and very successful career as a chair umpire and line judge. And I'd just like you all to pay tribute to the wonderful job that Graham has done. Graham, well done. Thank you very much. Okay, well, she's played some fantastic tennis all week. It didn't quite come right for her today. But would you please welcome onto court your runner-up, Freya Christie. I know it's tough to do on-court interviews after a match like that, but I think the one thing that we can do is just pay tribute to how well Sonay played today.
Yeah, definitely. I think credit to Sonay today. I think she missed about 1 ball the whole match, so well played. Yeah, I'll have to take that one on the chin.
Well, listen, you've had a fantastic week. I want to take you back to that first match on Monday when you saved 4 match points, and without doing that, you wouldn't be stood here today. So I think at that point in time, you'd have taken £10,000 and second place. So you must overall be pleased with your week.
Yeah, definitely. I think I've got to take a lot of the positives from this week. It's been a great week for me. I always love playing in Shrewsbury, and I appreciate the crowd, you know, so I had a lot in the corner there cheering me on. Thank you very much for watching, and I really appreciate everyone that came out today.
And finally, just tell us a little bit about plans from here. We're getting towards the end of the season. Have you any more tournaments, or are you going to have a bit of a rest now and then come back again next year?
I'm hoping to do 1 or 2 more tournaments, hopefully some 25Ks, but that just depends on scheduling sort of thing. So this might be the last tournament for me of the year, it might not, so who knows.
Well, it's been a great tournament for you all week. You've played some fantastic tennis. We always love, as you know, the crowd love watching you play here. Well done. It's been a great week, and we're going to ask you to turn around and collect your check.
Thank you.
£10,000
Just before as well, I want to say thank you to everyone that makes the UK Pro League happen. Dom, Ben, Sultan, everyone in the office. You do a great tournament. Thanks to the Shrewsbury Club. Thank you to all the officials, the ball crew. You've been great all week, and yeah, just thanks everyone for coming again. Thank you.
Okay, please welcome onto court your UK Pro League champion for 2021, Sonay Kartal. Sonay, when they wrote the script in your head this morning, it couldn't have gone better than that, could it?
No, I also actually earlier didn't practice too good, so I was a little bit nervous coming out. But yeah, I just tried to forget the occasion and just kind of play my own game.
And this week, it's obviously been hugely successful, and UK Pro League as well has been great for you. I know you won 3 tournaments on the trot earlier on in the year. Has this been something you've really benefited from? Do you think the format of UK Pro League?
Yeah, I think for me, my main thing was coming here, and I've had a lot of injuries in the past, so I've really capitalised on the Pro League. You're guaranteed 5 matches, so the format for me has been really beneficial, and it's something that I'm definitely going to continue on next year, and I'm very grateful for that they put on this year.
Brilliant. And any final reflections on the week? What has been the highlight, apart from obviously clearly winning today, but what are the other highlights that you've had this week?
Highlights for me have just, I've managed to keep a pretty consistent game throughout this whole week. I did lose to Katie in the last round of the groups, but I think I've taken some good match practice, and I'm off to Tunisia next week, so I'm really going to try and continue this form and hopefully bring it out there.
Brilliant. Well, we really hope you can build on your success as you travel abroad and take on those competitions. But well done today. You painted the lines, you played some fantastic tennis, and you are the 2021 UK Pro League champion, Sonay Kartal.
Thank you.
Okay, from all of us here, UK Pro League and the Shrewsbury Club, thanks so much for being part of our week, and we hope to see you back again for some more professional tennis in the next few months. Thanks and good night.